Today we're going to be talking about a fairly recent shooting that you may or may not have heard about. It's reminiscent of the Aurora, Colorado incident at the movie theatre, not only in that this shooting also was in a movie theatre, but it was almost 9 years exactly to the day of that horrific attack perpetrated by James Holmes. You might reasonably assume that the two was connected somehow, but surprisingly it's not thought to be the case, and there is a different motive at play. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts at the end. However, it was seemingly a nice and normal day in Corona, California on the 26th of July 2021. That's the when and where today's incident takes place. It's about 50 miles southeast of LA and is home to the headquarters of Monster Energy Drink and Fender Musical Instruments, you've heard of those two, and was founded at the height of the Southern California citrus boom in 1886, which I found quite cool. It's a very multicultural part of California, home to a population of about 150,000, with just over 10% living below the federal poverty line. According to the 2010 census, the crime rate is fairly high. The 2019 Corona crime rate rose by 4% compared to 2018, but the number of homicides stood at just 4, which would be a decrease of 2 compared to 2018. So it is safe to assume that the shooting we're talking about today was quite out of the ordinary and would have caused a great deal of shock in the residents. Rylee Goodrich was a young lady with a whole life ahead of her at just age 18, much like her friend Anthony Barajas, who was just a year ahead of her at age 19. They both lived in the same area of Corona, California and quickly became friends. From what I can see, Rylee has a really loving family and seemingly is a popular lass. The same could be said for Anthony too, who actually had over 1 million followers on TikTok. Both were loved dearly by many, and by all accounts seemed to be nice, non-criminal, young adults with a whole life of opportunity, triumph, success and happiness ahead of them. However, as you might have guessed, this was all abruptly brought to a cold and grisly end around midnight on the 26th of July 2021. Because literally out of nowhere, in an almost empty theatre, a man who was apparently watching the film too, shot Kaylee in the back of the head first, said to have killed her instantly. Then almost straight after, the same man shot Anthony, who was sat next to her in the back of the head too. Anthony actually survived the initial attack, but sadly he later passed away in hospital after being in a critical state for a few days. The attack is thought to have been entirely unprovoked, making it even harder to understand. They were found by the staff at the cinema on their routine walk around, which must have been horrifying for those people as well. But I just want to take a second to say RIP to the victims, and my thoughts and prayers really do go out to the family and friends. This is such a senseless attack that took two people in the prime of their life. I mean, I know it's cliche and every crime is obviously sad, but this genuinely is really, really sad. But were they taken in cold blood? What motive could somebody possibly have had to do this? At first it was all very unclear, but thankfully the police quickly identified and captured the suspected shooter, a Mr. Joseph Jimenez, the next day and brought him in for questioning. But things only got stranger. Rather than a cold-blooded killer who was only concerned with his mission to slaughter innocent people, they were instead met with the possibility of this being a result of a mental health episode. The Riverside Press obtained information from a Riverside County jail in Banning, where he is being held, and alleged Jimenez is blaming voices in his head, and the voices had been tormenting him for months, telling him that his family were in danger and telling him to harm people. It's still not clear how shooting the two teens in the head was going to help his loved ones, although he was able to recount the shooting in detail for officers and express regret, saying that he wished that he didn't do it and sent condolences to the families, whatever that is going to be worth. The voices said my friends and family were going to be killed, Joseph Jimenez, just aged 20, said in the same interview, going on to say that he was diagnosed with schizophrenia about 8 months ago but had recently stopped taking his prescribed medication. It's unclear whether this is confirmed yet, but I think it should be easy enough to prove if he is on medication. Either way, I don't think he's going to be allowed back into general population for a long time, and he is currently being held on a $2 million bail. Some people in prison say that they would prefer a jail cell over a psych ward any day because of the treatment in those places, but what do you think? Because this is a fairly new case, there isn't much info out just yet, but I'll be sure to post any updates in a pinned comment, and all the sources will be in the description if you want to look up this yourself. There are 2 GoFundMes set up for each individual victim, and if you can, I'm sure a couple of dollars would really help out the families at this time. I mean, I'm sure you can imagine this is not only going to be emotionally painful, but financially too, so anything would help, I'm sure. Links will be in the description. Words feel inadequate to express the sorrow felt by the loss of Rylee. Her kindness and gentle spirit will be remembered forever. And the next one is about Anthony. We lost our amazing brother, son, and friend in a tragic accident. Anthony was the light of so many people's lives.